Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's show. First off, check out ODYS if you're interested in age
Hey,
domain.
how am I up here?
Yeah, that doesn't seem right. Is there any way to switch that shit out? Throw him down.
I came second. That's weird.
That rarely happens.
But secondly, before we get anyone asking any questions, doing any funky stuff, nfdwebinar.com. Tell us more, Brad.
We got a 3-night webinar coming up mid-July. A lot of people have been reaching out to Mike, and he was actually working on a client presentation. So he put probably double, triple, quadruple the work into the presentation because we decided to present it to everyone here. Thank you, Rami. So we're going to be hosting a 3-night event. We kept the price as low as possible, which is $97. The amount of time and effort that Mike has put into it, and just the amount of time that we're going to be on the webinars, it's going to be worth way more than that. But check it out, take a look. It's all kind of revolving around the May 2022 update, but it was honestly shit that was happening before that too. So yeah, check that out, nfgwebinar.com. Yeah, we'll be, that was a big announcement that I emailed everyone about right before this. So if you missed it and you get on Craig's show late, like I told you not to, you're going to not see it. So all these early risers will be good. All good. You're always on support for Namecheap, right? There's always a woman named Olga on Namecheap support. It's probably her.
Olga, where are you from? Where do you work? Rami, thank you. I met Rami in Dubai. I think it was Rami I met.
Nice.
Or the other guy, I can't remember which one I met, but I think it was Rami. And I literally didn't get that much of a chance to speak to him in Dubai, which was weird. It was just mad busy. But anyway, we have Likens here, creating 301 redirects.
I'm actually testing a pretty good method, Mike, about Michael, about 301s, and I'm doing it, coinciding it with press releases and shit with Randy Services. So let everyone know how that goes.
And Digital Ear, long time no see.
Clinton.
And he's singing.
Don't break my heart, Mike. You
What
break
is
your
high
heart.
quality content though, Clint? I don't know what that is though.
Dude, speaking of quality content, I was getting ready to bring this up since Craig was late to the pre-show meeting. That Facebook post I sent you, that guy bitching about, have you seen that, Craig? Hang on, let me see what group it's in. This would be a good thing to discuss. Like, does spam still work for SEO?
So that actually, I looked at the server. That's why I dropped out of the thing. I tried to load the page too, and it just got swamped. It will come back up. It's taking a while to load right now because of the volume of the traffic on the page.
What's that? Oh, this site?
.com. Like literally, I was trying to load it, and I accidentally, I kept going, and then I accidentally closed all my fucking tabs and got kicked out.
Yeah, it was posted in Google SEO Mastermind. I have no idea how I got in here. But was this Gary's group or someone else? Is that different, Craig? Do you remember?
Gary's was the proper SEO group.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's different. It's funny. It's like a hockey stick picture up. This garbage has managed in a very short time to index over 100,000 articles on Google. All of the articles are stolen, including my website. According to SEMrush, the site ranks for almost 1 million keywords and generates around 200K traffic per month. The next crap on the page is even running AdSense. How is this possible that such a website still ranks and it is not the only one? For me, this is unfortunately so that honest work is punished and those who do not abide by the rules are punished. I have also contacted Google support so they could take care of it. Guess what happened? Exactly. ... Nothing. All caps.
You know what was funny is the DMCA request that was done recently with the full site scrape, right? Mm-hmm. That to me was fucking hilarious because it was a DMCA takedown on the site, right? And then it just was a little bit of a conversation and hey, but this is what we're doing. And it's all back. Like it's that people don't understand that you can take content. You can do that. You can use it, and there's ways to do it that Google will never touch. And that's the whole point of doing everything right. Craig Clint made jokes about high quality content, and I get that, because it's more about what you're doing to that page.
Well, it goes back to the tool, the internal tool that we have. So if I were this guy, and this kind of comes back to like an SEO mindset, like what you're trying to do. Are you trying to just work for clients and do everything by the books and all that shit, and be as safe as possible? Are you really making money out there? Not that you can't make money with clients, but I prefer making money without clients. Are you really making money and like trying to figure this SEO game out, right? Because if you're just trying to follow the rules, you're not trying to figure the SEO game out. If you're trying to follow Google's rules. Also, if you're building links, if you're doing X, Y, and Z, you're not following the rules anyway, so you might as well just get a little grade. But anyway, the thing that I see, and you see a lot of new people doing it, they're trying to follow the rules and stuff. It's a mindset type thing. Don't look at this and be like, oh, woe is me. This guy is cheating the system and he's beating me. Therefore, I'm going to quit SEO. What you should do, and what I told Mike, I was like, hey, let's take a look at the site. You said it's down though?
No, it comes up. It just, there's volume on it right now. And
Okay.
we're kind of cheap, bro, when it comes to our servers.
Also, talking about shitty links, that nfgwebinar.com apparently doesn't work.
Nah, it works. I just brought it up.
Dude, no shit. So the link thing is actually really interesting. I'm pulling up. Is this the right?
It's working for me. nfgwebinar.com.
It's intermittent right now. So
it's the ClickFunnels
it's
host.
the shitty server that we paid for, bro.
No, we don't pay for a server on that one. It's ClickFunnels. So.
Also, guys like Glenna is asking questions about the 3-day webinar. How many hours of instruction per day he wants to
as many as it takes to get the point across for that specific subject. So we'll go as long as it takes each day.
We scheduled it so that that overseas could make it too, and it's not going to be in the middle of the night for fucking people. So
yeah,
that should be over.
No person.
Is it coming up for you, Mike?
What's that?
nfgwebinar.com.
It did just finally when I tried it. I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's tried every time. When I
on the link thing, what I want to talk about real quick is, let me share this, just this real quick. We'll look at this for fucking linking. Where's the share?
Yeah, don't do the www then. Just do nfgwebinar.com.
I go to just put the URL in the banner, nfg.com, webinar.com/dash-monkey.
nfgwebinar.com, and I'll go to it. I don't know why the 301's not working, but nfgwebinar.com. I don't know why the fuck anyone would type in www, but
yeah, it's working for me, man.
We've been looking at some of the stuff we're doing with certain types of LinkedIn profiles, and I'm sharing that shit that I just shared. If we pull that up.
What's that?
Oh, I'm talking. Let's get to the browser share.
There you go.
So basically, there's a very specific shit that's going on right now in the link marketplace, where people are wasting a lot of money because there's a lot of links being sold that are actually positioned in a way to look very good, but are complete shit. And I've seen it all over the place. And while it's not necessarily going to harm you unless you're really bad at what you do, it is going to cost a significant portion of your budget that should not be wasted, that you don't need to even touch. So I think that's the third night or the second night.
Yeah, the third night's external links, and how even if you see a pop in the beginning, it'll really go over link loss, and why you see that degradation like quickly.
There's some very interesting things that we're going to go over, but
basically how to buy links that aren't shit.
Well, that's actually one of the best things I think people can pull away from. Well, the whole process works very well, but one of the best things I think that if people are actively building links, that there are some very specific points that you can use to look at stuff to avoid, and that way you can save the budget and spend it where it actually is going to be more beneficial to you. Chris's question at 13 after. Let's see. We use to see GSA work, but mostly use massive amounts of Web 2.0 links. We stay away from anything linked to the DMV for the most part, or use parasite page sites filter. Gotcha. I thought that was a question.
Yeah, the parasite stuff, it's ultimately linking back. It's just tiering, you know. So
let me see. Some of the interesting things that we're seeing is that the reversals. Like I was talking to Rob Beal. We were looking at one of these. It's an auto-generated site, and when you look at these auto-generated sites, like the ones that are kind of tight and done in a certain way work very well. The ones that are kind of loose start to fall off with the core updates or like market fluctuations, and it just ports directly over like what you're doing for client SEO and what you're doing for a tier 1 site. A lot of it just comes back down to that single SOP or that single process that most people miss and don't do. And yeah, like Clint said, it's just quality content. Clint said that's what you get when you're running GoDaddy hosting.
GoDaddy hosting is great, I think. You know what I like is Namecheap hosting. That's the best. You know, I've got a few sites on Namecheap, and for some reason, the auto pay will not stick. So I have to go in there every month and pay my $3 for the freaking hosting.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, but it's just because of dub. I'll look at the dub later.
The point I wanted to
redirect
right here with this query here, this is 100% links. This increase, 100% link increase. Not a lot of budget, dude. Like barely any budget.
It's tiered though, our typical.
Yeah, there's a very specific thing that is being missed in a lot of people purchasing links, like that you can actually go and purchase. You can find this stuff on freaking Fiverr, dude. Like you can. We're not going to necessarily go into Fiverr with this. We're not talking about Fiverr in this thing, but you can find this kind of thing on Fiverr if you know what you're looking for. And so it's just important to make sure you understand how to kind of protect that budget for yourself and the people you work with. Just spent 2 minutes trying to work out why my computer is making funny or anyways going to be it's my fan. It's my fan. There you go. Here, for you, Dave. No fan.
That's also why his video looks like it's pulsing all the time, like because of the fan going over.
Oh, that's the acid, bro.
Yeah, that too. Buying expired domains of other companies, my niche, small business, most GBs, but are not connected to the website. How would you suggest to edit the sites? Go in from multiple accounts and suggest an edit. Make sure you're set up on different IPs and all that stuff, but have the website set up, have name, address, phone, all the original stuff, maybe even a map embed of the business. Or if you want to do a wayback export, you can grab that and hope that it takes, but make them from multiple accounts. That's what I would do.
A FIFA wants us to check one page for SEO and help me issue is. So tell us what the URL is.
Yeah, we'll try not to mess it up.
And also, James Moore's asking about the webinar. What time is it planned?
2, but you'll have access to the. If you can't make a day, you will have access to the replays.
And we'll do Q&A at a time where people, if we need to do it again for people, like, depending on the volume, people want to jump on and do Q&A an extra day if need be. I don't care.
This is what I want to know. Is Rob Prosser a fake persona here, or is your name in Jordan's Discord the fake persona? I'm just out of curiosity. I'm just nosy like that.
Did you say his Discord is fake or here?
No, he's basically just said he was talking to Jordan, and he basically said he's in Discord under a different name.
Yeah, which name is fake, here or there?
Yeah, real name here. He's saying real name here. Michael.
His name is Mr. Biscuit in Discord.
Mr. Biscuit, bro. My Discord name is fake too.
Bunch of crawled, not indexed, and not discovered. Not indexed pages. We use Omega Indexer.
Mexican.
Mexican Indexer is They don't work like they used to.
So
what do? Do you update the content, Mike?
I would actually be looking at the whole crawl and looking at what's going on the page, what's not, which specific pages those are. Are you localized? Like there's issues like if you localize in one area and you have different English language versions, you can cause this stuff to happen. So there's a hell of a lot that could happen there. The other thing is how old is the site? Did you put the content up all at once? Did you put it up? Are you slowly, like are the clusters, like literally are the clusters all there, or are you missing shit out of the site? There is a lot I would look at there. Have you, I mean, ping me and if you crawled it. Did you do a change of address, bro? Did you do a change of address?
Did you do a change of address?
And then restore it like Clint said too. But before you do that, have you done what you need to do to migrate it?
Yeah, it sounds like a tech issue if you just migrated.
It's the tech issue or it's a fucking spam score issue too.
Oh man. Same URL as the WordPress website, but I'm liking this insult.
Everyone's gonna have to check out the lander.
But did you do a change of address in console?
And Mike here.
Sorry, that was me.
Oh, you looking at it? Yeah, go down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down.
Scroll down.
The 3-night event. It's a buddy of mine. He came over. I couldn't find him. He was in the shower eating pizza.
No, dude, that's not your buddy. I know that guy.
Who is it?
Aaron.
Aaron? You know Aaron too?
He's not your buddy.
Yeah, Aaron.
Aaron, what's his second name then?
Yeah, Johnson.
Clearly, that guy's a YouTuber. Like he's just a Canadian guy.
How is he?
Aaron
Shit
Kraskell.
all over him.
Yeah, no, Aaron Kraskell. He's he's a UK
That's the
guy.
kind of shit you watch, bro.
Fucking hell! I can't believe you just fucking pinched the guy's fucking images. Jesus Christ! Donor content right
That
up.
should never surprise you, Craig. Coming from me.
We're gonna pretend it's Jeff Lenny and we have permission.
Yeah, it's Jeff.
Thank you, Jordan. So I'm looking at that site, Michael. But also, did you do the change of address inside of console?
Yeah, we just helped a company come through in the telecom space, come through a complete rebranding. As soon as we signed on for a complete tech audit and SEO, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're rebranding, changing the entire website.
The domain after 6 years in the financial space, dude. Or no,
it wasn't financial, it's telecom. Yeah, different client. Yeah, it's funny, but anyway.
We're building a topical cluster with one main page and 20 supporting pages. Other than a link from each supporting page to the main page, what other internal links do you suggest? I'm going to say publish that for now and let it start to gather, get crawled and indexed, and then in 2 weeks go back and reanalyze like with what we're going to talk about on these webinars.
Yeah, a lot of times just using common sense, you can go through and
make sure you just do the internal link differently everywhere on that fucking page, on those pages for right now. Because there's a lot with this core and the internal linking structure.
Didn't change anything in GSC.
No, I mean, there's a you go in and you do a change of address in GSC and it starts to say that this site is moving over to this site. Did you do that?
But guys, keep your questions coming.
Do that, and if it doesn't handle it, just do that. If it doesn't handle it, then you can look at restoring it completely.
But I've got to say, Brad, that lander's not that bad. Other than the only thing I would change about it is the guy in the bottom, the guy in the video at the botton.
That guy's fucking badass, bro. My wife and she goes, "You sound fucking high. Why are you talking like that?"
I know what you're doing. It's because everything's bouncing around in your head. You're slowing down so you can pull it out and you can
I
cover
said I
everything.
have
But
to
you're being
keep-
thorough. Tell her you're being thorough, and she's not used to that.
Fuck you.
I'm just saying that's it.
It's true, bro. It's true. That's my response now to my wife. I'm being thorough. You can stop.
Yeah. When you start talking like that, I'm just being thorough here. That's what I do when I drink tequila. I'm very thorough.
You are very fucking thorough.
Yeah.
It's more thorough when you eat edibles and sit on the couch for a week, bro.
I've done that, yes, on accident. No, it's when you can't in Anaheim when you borrow one of Mars gummies and then you can't remember to grab your wallet like 5 times walking down to the
My wife
lobby.
goes, "Where's Brad?" I'm like, "Oh, he ate something."
I sat there for 5 minutes contemplating whether I should just put my shoes on or put my socks and shoes on to go back
Let's
downstairs.
talk about 5 proven ways that Search Engine Journal says that you can improve your Google rankings.
Hit it.
I'm going to share this screen because this is very good.
Do you like my casting couch?
If you have questions, send them over. We will answer them. I'm not looking at them. Craig,
It's a pull-out couch, Craig, just in case you're wondering.
A blow-up couch.
Pull out.
Oh, pull out. Tom Riley, appreciate that as well, Mr. Tom. What the fuck is that clicking noise? Please tell me that's you, Brad. With a
Brad's pen, bro.
Dude, I do that apparently all the time. People in my office are like, dude, there's something wrong with you. I sit and do that when I'm
It's
talking.
really bad because this one's got the where like you have to press the little thing to get to go up. If I have just a clicky, it's like.
Yeah, I'm the same, man.
How are we going to increase it, Mike? I'll put it away.
The first one is a foundation, and the first tactic we're going to use is to start with the foundation and perform a technical audit. I can agree with that shit, but I don't know if I'm going to agree with right here a whole bunch.
The couch does, Terry. I do not.
The what?
Replying to Terry's.
Terry says, don't listen to Brad. He never pulls out.
No, he does not. That's the problem. He's not liking the voting pass where everything's going in the U.S. right now.
Deliver great page experience.
Okay, that's the second thing you can do it. Let's see. I want to know if you agree with this, with the great page experience as the second most important thing.
It's, I mean, when you get into stuff like that, it's all, it's a very gray area. Like what is, you get philosophical like pretty quick. What is great page experience? Like it could mean something to one person, but not something to another. Like provide great page experience. Show me the recipe page that I actually want to see and let's see how well that ranks, where it's just the fucking recipe on there and not 5,000 words of content.
Yeah, they've literally made it a much worse page experience,
Yep.
and that's what they have to do.
Yeah, you have to do it, and they all know that.
So it's kind of funny. So that leads me to believe that the page experience maybe for conversion is important, but from an SEO standpoint, it might not be the best thing to do to focus on what they're saying to focus on when it comes to.
Also, I guess if you're looking at was this page good or whatever, from Google's perspective, if they stay on the page, if the bounce rate is like time on site is higher, it's a better page, right? But like say for a recipe, your time on site, if I look at the recipe, how to make a grilled cheese, and I bring it up, I'm like, okay, bread, cheese, butter, put it in a pan, make it hot. Okay, I got it. And then I'm off the page. From Google's perspective, that's not a good page. From my perspective as a user, it is.
So Clint, Clint's question is very valid. And this is for SEO, my brother. It's what they.
Yeah, that's what the title was, or whatever. The subject
so
matter.
I would say that this is a net for me on one of the top 5 factors. Michael, I understood your question, dude. I'm sorry for taking you down a freaking rabbit hole of doing a change of address when all you were talking about was a CMS change. That's what happens when I listen to my wife and don't slow down.
Thorough.
Yeah, when I'm not thorough, then I send you go looking to do changes of address.
Do you lose your underwear, Craig?
I've got it on now. Got it on.
Good.
So I would say I'm going to ask Clint this, because I would actually go crawl this and look at data before I changed URLs here, Clint. Would you just start changing the URLs first? I personally wouldn't. I'm wondering what your thoughts are for Mike. No right or wrong answer. We do SEO differently because I'm so beautiful and you're ugly. I rely on my looks for my SEO.
Tom's question about CTRify. If it's working for you and it's expensive, I would continue using it. You don't want to cheap out on it, in my opinion. So if that's actually working for you, then I would stick with it and figure out how to optimize the amount of money you make with it. Because if you're making a shit ton of money, like a lot of people complain about CallRail. Like whenever I suggest it being expensive, I'm like, it works. And I make way more from CallRail than I do paying CallRail. So I keep it. So it's my 2 cents. There you go.
That's a good question. Oh, there we go. You know what, dude? I was going through my laptops and my phones the other day when I was cleaning out my garage and the storage I have for the account stuff. And my wife was like, "Why the hell do you have all of this? Are you selling drugs?" But I had 14 laptops sitting like.
He's got more phones in his desk than Better Call Saul.
Right. It's hilarious. So mentioned do not repeat anchor text from supporting pages. I said that because right now I'd rather have someone not do something than do it.
I'd rather you not overdo it.
What I would say is that I'm going to literally let the data decide what I'm doing with the anchor text in there, but I don't go in and just like use an LSI tool selection thing to do that. I do use data out of the SERP and what I can get out of other things like Matomo or Console or Analytics. If the URLs are not indexed and don't have backlinks, changing URLs won't hurt them. It's true. Most likely, if crawled and not indexed or discovered and not indexed, they probably never were. See, I think that's where I think that we need to clarify, because that's not what I assume. So maybe we're just assuming different things. However, you do have to manually check that the URLs are indeed not indexed in the search results. Search Console and SERPs do not always match where indexing is concerned. And yes, I would never take the console data as the end all be all. You need to be scraping the SERPs, and that is a huge thing that I will always continue to say. You need to be pulling your data out of live campaign data, not what Google decided to share with you, because Google does not decide to share everything with you because they want the money for themselves. They want that money. So Michael, they were indexed before, correct? Or they
before
were incorrect. I'm setting this up to make sure that Clint knows he's incorrect with that part. I think that the technical aspect is more important right now. I think what I would do,
make sure that's fixed. Yeah, first.
I would want to know if they were indexed and now they are not indexed.
After the change in CMS.
Other reasons and things first, I would look at tech. At the same time, if I'm moving to a new CMS, it's a good time to do an optimization process. I would probably be checking the site data at the same time and updating the page if there's something to update on the page, but not just because I want to do more work, right?
James Moore has a question. When you find keywords to go for, do you build new pages or add them where possible to existing content?
It depends.
I was going to say it depends.
Literally the SERP data. Like
if it warrants itself to create a new page, create a new page. If it provides a supporting subject on a page you currently have, then you're probably going to find that keyword when you're doing the research on the other page that you already have.
So we're in that webinar series. Actually, this is something we're actually like straight up focusing on, because I don't think people have the right answers for themselves.
Is that night 1 or 2, Mike?
I think that is night 1, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. I'm still kind of breaking it apart. It's 1 or 2. Third is going to be the on-page. And so when it comes to new keywords, like there's a few things that you want to run through. It's like, okay, where does this fit? Does it make sense for my site or does it not? Because someone might be a competitor and Like they might be like 50% of your competitor, not 100% of your competitor. David. So that site there, but I would also look at if that site makes sense to keep running, dude. Like honestly, that's kind of where
you're saying if it makes sense to set it up itself or no.
Each scores are literally like your page optimization and your on page. Like that's what your expertise authority is. I mean, 100%. Like if your content is off, then your EAT is off. Your expertise is off. If you're not there. A lot of the financial shit I'm looking at in our network stuff right now, like you'll see like payday loans keywords take a dive. Quick loans take a fucking increase like this. Hand movement, here's how you do it. But you'll see the different entities that will one will increase. Like you'll have certain modifiers that will drop, and then that's because there's a certain something you have to do for that page, and so E just really comes back down to making sure your content's proper and looking at what's going on with the backlinking and making sure that the backlinks that you're pulling in are ones that are going to be like the most beneficial.
Yeah, start with your keyword entities. Make sure they're on point first.
We're going to kind of go over a little bit of a link audit. It's not a link audit course, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. I think the next one we do will be like a link audit course. But for now, we're going to go over what really is going to be the most like impactful on your budget to save you the most money, so you can make more money, because it's all about the bottom line there.
Are we going to cover keyword cannibalization, Mike?
Yeah, that's handled in the process. The same one.
I've got questions coming through on Skype asking about it.
Yeah, so, that's important, extremely important. And what you'll see is we just dealt with it. I saw a lot of hop link issue with this update. So people would have their internal anchors and they'll have their TOC plugin going, and instead of doing it properly, they're auto-generating things that are detrimental to the page, that are skewing the fucking, they're skewing the ratios of the page. There's just a ton of that shit going on right now. And what you'll find in a lot of those cases, like when you correct that or when you pull it off, it can have an impact on what you're doing. If you're optimized properly, it's not going to be an issue. Usually it combines with other factors on the page that are not done properly. And those are the ones that kind of come together and make the page kind of lose the traffic. And when you fix that and correct that course, it works really well. It's kind of interesting because we talk about how these core updates, like you can always see these, like the graphs are usually like this when people aren't doing it properly. Let's see, like this. They'll go like this, right? But every core, they will start to go further down. And when you see it correct itself, like you can easily see at the core, like where it starts to go up. And then when you're seeing graphs, and I'm sure people that are looking at data right now have noticed like the course corrections and then the secondary corrections from this last core update over the last like 10 days, 11 days. There's been a couple very recently too from that. And the ones that are doing it right, they won't start to course like that. They'll just keep going back up through the whole ride if you have everything on point. So it's not rocket science. It really isn't. It can be labor intensive sometimes to do it like to 100% level, but the process is super. I mean, it's basic SEO, just having those things and making sure you're doing it right and doing it right.
Tom has a little issue.
Likely, no. I would say if they're ranking well and they're doing what they want to do, then no, they're not cannibalizing each other, because cannibalization is very particular to your page, that how you structured your page and your site. It's not like a one-to-one crossover where I'm going for this keyword and this guy's going for this keyword. There's other factors in there, like the intent of the group of queries that is on that page and the one that's on the next page. It might be a supporting keyword of one of the other, but like you can see all that data very easily. Everyone has the tools to do it, just doing it right and looking at it right.
Asking about webinar dates. It's July 12th, 13th, and 14th. So the 12th through the 14th, 3.
We'll keep that page up for a little bit. We do have a hard cap on attendance, I think, but
yeah, because it's a webinar, so there's always a cap. So
always a cap.
May 26th
this has
in
been
the health
interesting.
industry. Yeah.
The e-com stuff has been really interesting. Like I was talking to Wicked about this. We were looking at a bunch of data the other day on some.
You like how we have friends named Wicked?
Yeah.
Craig.
Sorry, I wasn't even listening. I was adding a banner there. Who's called Wicked?
One of our friends.
It's called Wicked.
So Wicked, we were looking at this, and you can absolutely see, like, your query, those products. You've got decisions to make based on the data of where to place the orders of certain words, where to place the brand in the product or not to place the brand, depending on strategy as well. Like it definitely matters right now. How you kind of structure your titles and different things, how they're being rewritten. Like and if you're paying attention and pulling that data out, then you can kind of correct this. What we've done with this is there's a piece of software that's it's a SaaS that when the updates come, and this is available, we're making it available for people that are going to attend or whatnot. It's not ours, but
it's not like a focus because it's not a big launch for a SaaS. We're not going to be selling you.
But what it does do is that when there's an update, when there is fluctuation in your ranking, whether there's been an update or not, it is pressing a button and you're re-optimized for that particular group of queries or query itself. Like basically that page can be instantly re-optimized. And so you have an instantly updated GMB or an instantly updated blog post or an instantly updated HTML lander. And you just click the button, it reruns its deal, does its shit in the background, all its math, and you get your content pulled out. And you can just either hit the button to import into WordPress or export that to your HTML lander or your GMB post or whatever. So, and that's where I think everyone should be heading, is because it's such a data-driven industry. If you understand that and you understand the process, then you can set it up to where you can go in and automate these things. Like you can automate the fact that, I had a 10 position decrease. I need the CMS to automatically bring my site back up. And that shit is very possible. You just have to understand the processes and then have the thing to do it with.
And it works well for local too.
It's extremely well for local too. Yeah. Local people talk about, nakedhd.xyz.
Nice. Yeah. And make sure to go there too, because I'm sure it's an outstanding citizen running that.
There's two of them.
There's two of them.
There's one more.
There's always two, bro.
There's three.
But okay, we were looking at these ways to optimize. So,
Mike, quick fix for if someone's spamming the shit out of your site with negative SEO, spam links hitting the site. Is there a quick fix for it?
Hurry
up! It's got to be quick. Hurry.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't care in a lot of situations.
You seeing? I know you've had a lot of issues with it, Craig. Is all you're doing for it is the disavow, right?
Yeah, I think Google can ignore most of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
To be honest, but just for peace of mind more than anything. Now, I have seen good results from having a disavow done. I've seen decent uplifts. However, I think Google can determine most of it.
So what I would say, I answered this question for somebody actually yesterday. I agree. I would say that there's a time to do it, and that is when literally you have to do it. And
if it's hurting your rankings, go ahead and disavow.
Like if you have to do it for a manual re-inclusion request, you better do it for a manual re-inclusion request. I personally have not seen in years improvement from disavow from the algorithm. I don't touch it unless it. But I also haven't touched it. I just don't do it unless it's needed. And to me, it's needed when I know that they're going to say no if I don't do it. But I can't say that anyone else is wrong. Browser caching, I think, is important in a lot of cases. You want to be able to still optimize. Go ahead, Michael. Yeah, let's do Michael's thing. So I think data visualization is very important. MySQL is neither here nor there, depending on what you use. Craig, Craig, Clint, everybody here, I use data visualization in my own way, like on a day-to-day basis, so it makes my day easier. I color code shit, and so like when I look at data coming out, I know what a color means, and I don't have to read it. So I read it by color, and if the color is one color, then I'll pay attention to it. If it's two other colors or three other colors, I will ignore it until I need to look at those colors. And that makes it very quick for me, and that's how I do it. And then for link building, I like graphs. I like to look at graphs. I like to see the link structure so that I can tell if something's like by a glance. I want to know if it's real or if it's manipulated. If it's real, then I can ignore it, because a lot of the times a real link profile in my campaigns, I can't go recreate. So it's a waste of my time to go analyze it unless I need to figure out exactly what is going on with context or something else. If it's a manipulated link profile, then I can recreate that very easily. So I will go pay more attention to the manipulated profile in that. So when I say that in a link graph, you will see what's spam, you will see what's legitimate. The spam is where you want to kind of focus looking at, right? And that's where you can get your gems and find your wins if you've done the other stuff properly.
Yeah. I would also say I'm much more of I like the visual thing, the thought of looking at some long-winded text or anything like that. Just
yeah, I can. Like literally, like I've gotten to the point, it's really fucking funny. Like I'll take some article if I want to know if I want to read it, and I'll just analyze the engrams and things in it. So I know what the actual topic is about and see like the modifiers in there and know if it's interesting or not sometimes, dude. Like
what's funny is I'm the opposite, because I'll sit here and get halfway through a book. I'm like, I'm halfway through this bitch. I'm gonna finish it. So most of the time I'll finish it. And
that's different than reading people's shit content on the web.
Yeah, I don't read a ton of that. Did you cover Michael's question about the SEO courses and shit?
No.
Yeah, I would say getting into data analytics just in any field, not necessarily SEO, but anything, I would probably call that a benefit. You remember, what was his name from the Payday place? He was their CPC, Jason from, yeah, he was their CPC guy. They didn't even run PPC for Payday because they couldn't. They kept him on board because of his data analytics. He kept his
job and couldn't run PPC anymore because of the way he could analyze data.
Yeah.
And the thing is about like tools. So you mentioned MySQL and data visualization, right?
Is that how you say it, MySQL?
That's how I say it.
Oh, I always said MySQL.
I'm the same. I'm with Brad in this one.
I like SQL though.
MySQL. We've always said MySQL where I've fucking been, so that's what I say. It's SQL. You're not wrong, but I'm better than you, so I'm right. So.
I'm usually wrong. So
what's up?
I've got a bit of a rant anyway. When you see these fucking senior SEO roles, I'm not that I'm actively looking, but when they come up on my LinkedIn or whatever, you need this, some fucking coding skills, some graphic design skills, people management skills, and a business degree.
Bro, that's someone with like 30 years of experience doing this shit, dude.
It's like any fucking job. That's why I can't apply for jobs. I'm not qualified.
Yeah, it's just fucking dog shit, man.
Yeah.
I love Coursera, Udemy, all of these things.
Yeah, I was going to say Coursera.
I would say Python is something everyone should pick
up. That's something I need to fucking.
Everyone should
say that all the time.
The ability to just open up Anaconda or Console.
My Anaconda don't.
Yeah, and start throwing shit at the wall, because you have things like AdverTools and Beautiful Soup. There's a lot of shit you can automate. There's a lot of, you can build sites. You can basically do what OnCrawl does if you write it right. But the thing is, like, if you have OnCrawl, you got to make a decision. Okay, OnCrawl, they've done a lot of this work. They have their own query language, but at the back end, they're using a database, and it comes down to the fact that you're querying a database just like you would with SQL. And so, do you want to go to a third party that could be sold or shut down, or do you want to learn the languages that everybody uses? I would say, longevity-wise, go with the languages that everybody uses. Understanding how to query a database with MySQL or MySQL or something else. Understanding how databases work, those kind of things will put you in a place to understand the
Good.
to understand the way the web works even better. You know, like if you understand all of this, then you understand the web better. Your SEO is better if you understand that. And
well, it's like starting with HTML coding, like I did. I feel like that helped me in certain instances.
Starting with what?
Just straight up HTML, simple.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Like the first time I ever spoke to people, like the thing I like iterated the most was go take a fucking HTML course, because a lot of people were talking about not knowing how to write HTML. I'm like, fuck, how do you do the web without understanding HTML?
I learned that when I thought I was going to make millions with a web design agency. It didn't work out.
But it's funny, dude, because like Craig, like what you said, bro, about all these things they want, dude. I can do all the shit these people want, but I dropped out of high school, dude. So a lot of the time I've seen like a big issue, like when I was young, trying to get fucking in the door somewhere. Wouldn't have done it now. I would kick my kid's ass if they took my path. But those are skills, like a senior SEO like that. If they're taking that and they want someone with that much experience, they better be paying good fucking money.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a 6-figure job, but I mean, even it's just like,
more
say it's $120, you know, it's like, is that worth it? You know, how much money could you make on your own elsewhere?
Yeah.
Go to Chris's question. That's what that's in reference to. In one of the primary niches, I don't really have any mass page or anything like that. It's strictly GMBs. I'm seeing about a 20 or 30% drop recently. I need to go back and look at last year's numbers to see if it's a cyclical thing or if it is that. But yeah, I'm seeing it just call volume. I'm not looking at traffic, anything like that. Just call volume. So
they're going to continue. They will always continue to try to take as much money out of that as possible. I mean, that's the nature of the fucking beast, unfortunately. But yeah.
Well, you know, it's going to be a good quarter for Google next. So buy Google stock every time that happens.
Oh shit.
What's up? Richest domains.
Richest domains. I wonder what he does. But good to see you, man.
Black Jays, dude. I love you, dude. Whoever you are, bro. No, this is true, and that's
well. They have to with one job for every 2 applicants right now in the U.S. at least.
The comment of the year right here. Companies are fully aware it's an employee's market. It's like being a girl on Tinder.
I wish I were a girl on Tinder.
It's like being Brad on OnlyFans.
Yeah, bee's knees. Discovery services for agency. I spent $20K in the last 2 years on process mapping.
Yeah, it's a bitch, bro.
Scaling is hard. Past one person. With one person, you can hit that 30, 40K a month. But after that, it's harder.
I think most people get capped at like 20, 25 to 30K a month.
Yeah. Naked HD's back twice.
This guy is consistent. He must know Brad.
Yeah.
And what Brad wants.
Craig's being cookied because of me. So actually, that's what like I have in one of my other tabs is naked HD.xyz. It's so catchy.
Anyway, Dan,
how do you scale?
To scale, he's capped at 40 clients and life sucks.
Are you hiring? Where are you blocking? Like,
I would honestly look at getting a project manager.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, is there project management in place? Like how many project managers? How many projects are your project managers managing? That would have been a better joke. Yes.
Yeah. It would have been more relevant as well. But you know, it is what it is. Missed opportunities.
He's right. I hate Clint. He always shows me up.
I know he does. He's better looking too.
On or off.
Especially off. I still use SERPshaker, to be honest, a lot on a lot of domains. It still works too. I've got rehab domains where it's just SERPshaker builds. SERPshaker and spun content that brings in about $1,000 a month.
And dude, like literally spun content, I was just looking at passing the MCA. Like after being removed and then included again in spun content.
And Richest means my name is a misnomer, not a brodo.
Brocephus.
So you have 3 project managers and for 40 clients, and their days are capped, I would assume.
So they're about 11 clients a piece, 10, 11.
So always training, but are you training are you doing the training yourself, or do you have someone doing the training for you? Are you working? I guess what I'm asking, that's exactly right. Clint is 100% spot on. But what I'm asking, I guess, Daniel, is are you working in your business, or have you stepped away from it completely right now? It sounds like you're working in it. I just stepped away from it, not that there's any money.
It's difficult though. Scaling an agency is not.
I think having someone like you've got in-house, Craig, the guy that you hired, you're going to take all this training, do all this shit. Someone maybe one step above a project manager would benefit.
Yeah.
Him. Don't you have someone like that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Just I can literally say to him, do whatever, do whatever, and he can do it. So for me, that worked out well. But I know of many people in similar positions to Daniel where they get to, I don't know, 30, 40 grand a month and can't go any further. They're literally about to have a fucking breakdown.
Yeah, he should be doing better than that if he's got 30, 40 clients.
Yeah.
Should be like, yeah.
But that is the question.
Okay.
Has he got the right kind of clients?
Yeah.
Is it 30 or 40 guys on 500 to 1K a month? Because that is a fucking bollock.
Yeah, I hope not.
At that point.
Also, what I would do as well is try and simplify your process.
Yes.
Slower. You want to come up with your SOPs, put that in. What's that? I don't have my bookshelf back in here yet. Work the system is pretty good as far as coming. He repeats himself a number of times. Yeah, Michael would be a good hire.
I could say right now that I would say that's actually a damn good idea because of what I know Michael does. I know Michael touches every industry. I know Michael fucking works with many businesses underneath their campaigns. He directs SEO.
Would you work on a rev share basis, Michael, if Daniel were interested in it? Just throwing ideas out there.
One thing I would suggest though, Daniel, don't give Michael the fucking chance to migrate a website.
Site migration.
Yeah.
I'm only kidding.
That's a nerdy ass joke that was really fun,
Yeah.
dude.
But yeah, it is simplifying your processes, like the day-to-day SEO processes. Maybe it's too complicated at this point, and you need to simplify those. Okay, if this client comes in, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z. We're not fucking working outside the realm of that, because that's where I see a lot of people get into.
I'm gonna stop it all right now. This is where to address right here.
Yeah.
That's less than 1,000. Yeah, this is where you want to address. So I assume it's a local agency at that point for sure. If it's a local agency and you're providing a service rather than a product, you might want to start looking at if it makes sense to turn some of this into a product rather than a service for them. There are ways to structure this differently that will be less hands-on. When you're taking a volume of clients like that, that's why you're spending money on the project managers, is because they're now having to manage the worst type of client you can get, which means they're
$750 a month client. Yeah.
Absolutely, the worst type of client you can get is what you're talking about. I'm sorry,
yes, for sure. Yeah.
At being clients, they do.
Yeah, at 750 or 500 range, it should be extraordinarily simple to implement your SEO. Okay, month one, I'm gonna go read fucking a marketer center guide. Read this, and month one we're gonna order this. Month two we're gonna order this. Month three we're gonna order this. Month 4 plus we're gonna continue doing this. That's it, and then it's a very simple process, so you can scale out from there. Otherwise, if it's overcomplicated on the front end,
I would also look
then
at
you're not going to be able to scale.
If you can automate reporting and overburden them with reporting.
That's where the data studio shit comes in.
Yes, overburden them with reporting, deliver that to them in Slack. Yeah, Clay is spot on for that kind. And so if you overburden the reporting and really only start pushing them to the direction where they only contact if there is an issue, and if you have a good service, there aren't issues. Now you can scale back what's going on with the project management. That was nice, man.
Thank you, Richest Domains, bro.
Domains.
The weird thing is, most people watch YouTube videos and don't ever engage a fuck all. Don't subscribe.
I don't engage shit. Yeah,
dude,
I subscribe.
I follow, and all the YouTubers literally they do that whole only 20% of you are subscribers. Only they hold it up at the end and show their stats and shit, bro. It's kind of funny.
It's
good.
But they're also trying to make YouTube their main revenue stream, dude. Which to me is like a pipe dream for most people. So.
Hey, did I tell you my son's career path? It's 4 steps. Make a bunch of videos, post them, get money, invest. Because he was talking about how he's going to make money with YouTube. And my brother asked, how are you going to do that? And he came up with those 4 steps. I'm like, I'm proudest of step 4. Sista, S-I-S-T-A. Not Joseph.
I don't know, you could be like us and only do YouTube on someone else's channel like idiots.
But
I'm just here for fun and to talk to Olga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since I remember talking to her in Namecheap, so.
Changing titles to steal brings money.
So this is literally like what the data that you can pull out. This is when we were talking earlier about like what we're going to talk about on this webinar series. Those are those kind of decisions where it's like now a business decision. Like, where does this make sense? Like, you have to separate it from the marketing funnel and then the actual cluster for the optimization. And when you separate that shit, now you can just kind of analyze the data and say, okay, this funnel can be delivered on a page like this. Should I take it over here? I'm not saying split it, but you have to make a decision because they are not the same thing. And this LSI, like, we all can put all these things on one page and blah, 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 and we're all these topics is bullshit. Like, whatever anyone tells you, like, that's bullshit. That's not how you analyze a page at all. You don't use an API. You don't use this fake LSI shit that Clint will tell me is real because the industry says it's real, but it's not fucking real. I'm going to say it again.
Clint's not even real.
In this algorithm shit. But I love you, Clint. It comes down to looking at data and then making a business decision. And it might be staying in the middle sometimes.
And for anyone hopping on right now, you're talking about nfgwebinar.com. What we got coming up?
So if I say it might be about staying in the middle because like that's where the business decision comes in. Like, you have to make a decision and like, okay, is Steel Garage converting and Metal Garage not? Then it doesn't matter if you get rid of Metal Garage. But if they both convert equally well, you might want to keep both of them and stay in the middle because the revenue might be higher. Who gives a shit about the ranking? It's not about the ranking, it's about the money.
It's all about the dollars.
That's the new tagline. It's not about the ranking, it's all about the money.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
That is.
Colin Young wants to know if mass page sites still work for ads.
Yes. Yeah, like I said earlier, I use SERP Shaker on sites. What was Clint's comment?
I was looking at one just before this.
Optimize it as though you would an individual page that you're putting out. Have it really well optimized from like. What would you use instead of LSI since you don't like LSIs? Like the cognitive. What's that?
Cognitive, matchwork, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, cognitive. Whatever cognitive uses.
I call them page entities. I call them keywords that support a fucking keyword cluster on the page. And to me, that's
correct. Yeah. So optimize the one that way. Run it through your spinner or whatever you want to use. Make sure that it stays optimized through cognitive. Put in your short codes for your city state and run it. 80 pages done.
And here's the thing: it's like the SOP that we're going to go over and talk about, what we're going to do to pull people in. Some of it's done when you launch the page, and then some of it's done. That's a good way to say it. And Clint distracted me. I always watch him because he makes me happy.
He makes you nervous, doesn't he?
He makes me happy. But when I see his face, he makes me. It's like why you
nervously happy. Yeah.
It's why you can't look people in the eye. I can't look Clint in the eye because I feel like he might shoot me one day.
He most definitely is outside your window right now.
I can see it.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
I think
he's about 50 yards away, but we got 1 second left. There we go.
We did it. Yeah. So it's a straightforward thing, and it comes down to literally optimizing for the keyword cluster. And a keyword cluster is just a group of keywords that need to be on the page together.
Yeah.
Do that, then take it out 80 times. But don't lose that optimization. Don't like waste your hard work on the front end because you just ran it through a spinner randomly. So yeah. Use proper spin tax.
180 yards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That bush going like that across your yard is not a tumbleweed, Mike. That's Clint.
The skid steer that's up there, like watching.
Yeah.
No affiliation, but there is a Mass Page Tools YouTube group producing for Mass Pages. You know little about it. There's a lot of Mass Page tools out there for sure.
There are. Yeah, use what I mean. It doesn't come. It comes down to the tool to a certain extent, but it comes down to like using it properly. No innuendos there, but for real, use what you know how to use as long as you can use it properly. So.
Yeah, so everyone, I know someone announced this, like something changed. I think that someone, I've heard this from a lot of people lately, like, oh, this is what, here's what Jarvis is using or whatever the fuck they're named that thing now, Jobo or whatnot. They go back to like fucking GPT-3 and things and GPT-2. Like I have things that I prefer. There's other shit you can use that is less resource intensive on your machines. So if you're going to go the direction of using certain things, like if you're going to write something, go research what you can use that's going to be the least expensive. Because at the end of the day, if it's expensive and you're using it, you're going to just even if it's automating something, you could lower your revenue because you're using the wrong thing. Is what I'm trying to say.
I just use Spin Rewriter. Just make sure you know how to use it.
Yeah. You can absolutely use AI to write content. I think Chase launched something about AI profits or something, but
did he?
I don't know. But it doesn't.
I just have Drew run through Surfer and pump out content. So we had a whole site. Did we take that site live yet? That rehab one?
I asked yesterday. Is it done?
I told you it was done last week. Yeah.
No, he said it was almost done.
No, I said he said.
I'll launch it. Yeah, I'll launch it.
All right.
I'll push the button.
I mean, you can check it to see if it's done, but yeah, it should be done. I haven't checked it.
Okay, this is a good question to end on about Mass Page Tools. Yes, Mass Page Tools can create millions of pages, and that does sound too good to be true because there's a lot in there.
It used to be true and good when we would just be able to pump out 30,000 pages at a time, times like 10, 20, 30, 100 sites at a time, fill up a server, throw a cloaker on there, and then make money. But unfortunately, that's not how it is at the moment. But you can do a lot more with a lot less too, though.
Yeah, you don't need to spend as much and throw as much out there. You can keep it tight. Like what I was saying is I just was looking at a campaign that's mass page generated completely and it's fine. And whether the one I was looking at specifically weathered the core update perfectly with increase of traffic because it was built properly.
Hey, Mike, Clint sounds like you. The last comment.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll mention something that's doing well, and Mike will be like, "What's the domain? I need to copy it." Exactly. I'm like, "What the fuck?" Every time. Like, no shit. He's serious as fuck too.
Hey, can I get that login and get the back end, dude?
Yeah. Can I? I'm like, no. It's just like.
I'll go to a different location.
Yeah. It's hard to hit any location I missed. So.
Fuckers. Anyway, we are out of time, guys. And do come back. I am back again tomorrow with Mr. Chris Palmer. But check out these guys, nfgwebinar.com. And
the amount of time Mike has put in the prep of those webinars is outstanding. So it's not to be missed.
Not to be missed. And do give us a little like on the video. And if you're watching later on, feel free to abuse Brad in the comments.
Yes.
And
anyone that watches this after the fact, after the live stream, there's always a roast Brad challenge. Hashtag roast Brad. No one's taking me up on it. I have a feeling Clint's going to.
Clint, I hope you're well, dude. It is nice to see you. I hope life is good, dude. I love you.
And check Audit. And yeah, Clint, it's been too long, mate.
No homo, though.
But on that note, guys, we will catch you all next week.